All right, collective, welcome back. I know it's been a hot minute bringing you a reading in a new space. I just took a moment to do my prayer and energy calibration before going into this reading, and I ended up messing up that video. So basically, I'm going to get right into the reading today. But make sure you're on the I Am Dil Divine YouTube channel for some extended energy calibration videos coming soon, and guided meditations. Now for today, we're going to open up with the Magic of Marvel Oracle, tapping back into our superpowers. And I want to invite you to connect with some nice deep breaths, really landing and grounding in whatever moment you're in. Intentionally connecting with your spiritual guides, team, and tribe, opening up for divine wisdom of the Most High, the highest and purest vibration to reach you now. Please and thank you, Holy Spirit. May we have an opening oracle for the collective today. What is the opening message? Wow, this is still coming up, and I haven't been on here in over a week. And so this is letting me know this is a significant cycle we are really in. As a collective. So we have spectrum, be blinded by the light, coming up again. I'm going to put this here. They're telling me get another one. While I continue channel this, being blinded by the light, what I'm getting as an immediate message to accompany what's on the card is keep going. As in, keep moving forward. Keep taking steps in a direction that essentially moves the needle forward, that you could associate with progress. You can associate with showing up for what you feel called to be doing. And this is in multiple areas and categories of your life as well. This isn't limited solely to work or labor or service, although absolutely, please hold space for that. And Spirit's been reminding me of this as well, especially with this, relocation and being in a new environment and space, for however long. Spirit is saying, give grace for transitions and reconnect with the habits and practices that are in alignment with your goals and intentions. It's okay to slow down. It's okay to recalibrate. It's okay to not have every single day look the same, be the same, to have the most rigid timetable or schedule. Now, for some of y'all, you thrive with that, and with that very, I want to say, maybe specific repetition. For others, we vibe a bit more with dynamicism. So it's about having the discipline to show up for our daily intentions while also acknowledging the time of day could vary. Or perhaps not every activity is a daily activity, yet it is something we repeat multiple times during a week. So Spirit is encouraging, continue doing those things and those practices that are lighting you up, lighting up your intentions, lighting up your goal, letting your light pulse, shine, and radiate, so that you are also able to be seen and detected by the souls that are being aligned for you at this time. So there's something with this coming in. I'm feeling some tightness. Ooh, pardon me. Hopefully I didn't just nudge the mic too much. Feeling this tightness in my throat chakra. Slowing down to breathe, continuing to expand. Preparing for greater communication and greater expression. Because that last point that I was just channeling about, shining and radiating, beaming our light, embodying our light, pulsing our light, thank you, Spirit, is so that we are essentially further magnetizing ourselves with the soul tribe, the soul family members, thank you, Spirit. Yeah, there's something about being in the seasonal shift, and I know we're at the start of Leo season as well. Yeah, some really great opportunities for aligned meetings and purposeful connections with some really good soul family, soul member vibes. Like I'm feeling high vibrational, expansive, joyful, co-creative, productive from an aligned space. Not to say that all adversity or challenges disappears or melts away, but these connections are feeling lighter and brighter. Yet it requires us to continue engaging in the practices and the expressions and the communications that ultimately allow us to be lighter and brighter on a daily and more weekly, more consistent basis. Okay, they're telling me you pretty much made the point, so get the second one. Please and thank you, Holy Spirit. An accompanying Marvel card, an accompanying superpower activation, wisdom. Okay, a big shuffle. This message is especially encouraging if anybody has, in their transition period, maybe you were traveling, right? Maybe you were relocating and you've been recovering your energy, recovering your strength. So you may not be doing every single intention that's on your list of intentions every day. Yet Spirit is asking you to give grace for how you are taking care of yourself and showing up for yourself. And it's not about perfectionism. It's about staying rooted not only in your faith, also in your faith-based commitments, and doing the best you can to show up for them with increasing yet manageable action, aligned action, inspired action. Thank you, Spirit. Is anything else wanting to come out? Thank you. I was like, this one is slowing down, but they gave me two. Okay, yes, we have America Chavez, The Best Way Is Your Way, and we have Nightcrawler, In My Eyes, I Am Beautiful. Okay, I felt like I wanted to put these as the three. So America Chavez, The Best Way Is Your Way. Let me put that there. And then we have Nightcrawler, In My Eyes, I Am Beautiful. And that is a beautiful, gorgeous card and message. So there's a lot of authenticity energy here. The best way is your way, and Spirit is inviting you. Like the first card was be blinded by the light, right? Yeah, be blinded by the light. And now this message with Nightcrawler about being beautiful. There's so much here about embracing your authenticity, embracing your light, facing yourself head on, and choosing to love what you are seeing. Even if you don't like all parts of yourself, can you embrace being more unapologetic about loving yourself and understanding, like, yes, there may be stumbles, there may be starts and stops with that journey, curveballs, wobbles, whatever it may be. Yet ultimately, are you being consistently and faithfully committed to loving yourself, loving your journey, loving your light, loving your soul, loving the expression and embodiment of your soul and path, or not? Like, I feel as though if you're resonating and you're still with me on this, ultimately it's a yes. You are committed to this. You are on it. You're about that life. Yet Spirit is asking you and maybe telling you to level up in witnessing all of the different ways and layers and levels in which you are beautiful. Like, this is not just limited to physicality. This is limited to your whole, this is not limited. This is open and including your entire essence, your entire embodiment, your entire being. Notice how you put and can place and infuse beauty in any and everything you do. How would you look at yourself and treat yourself and reflect upon yourself if you prioritize seeing yourself through a loving, beautiful lens? That's pretty powerful, Spirit. And I'm seeing like rainbows. Because Nightcrawler often, because of his appearance, people have freaked out and thought he was a demon, or that he is a demon and that he's this wicked, malevolent abomination or entity. When in reality, he's one of the most faithful, most loving, most forgiving, most compassionate figures and truly, genuinely kind figures you could ever hope to meet in your life, let alone to have as a friend or soul alignment, soul tribe member. And Okay, this is about to end in a couple seconds. So we're going to come back from part 2 to wrap up this Nightcrawler message and get into the tarot. So come back. Okay, so part 2 of the reading. We were just leaving off with the Magic of Marvel superhero cards that kind of gave us our start. Wrapping up this Nightcrawler message about essentially how in many spaces, people project their fears and some of their worst judgments upon him due to his physical appearance, treating him like an abomination, a demon, a monster, things of that nature. Whereas what I left off expressing and making the point about is he's one of the most faithful, compassionate, kind, and loving beings we could ever hope to meet, let alone to call a friend or an ally. Yet he's only been able to kind of do and achieve these things not only by going on his own journey of faith, within that journey has essentially been the embrace and reconnection with unconditional love, and seeing himself in such a beautiful and loving light. There's something about you elevating in your self-love and embracing your uniqueness and loving yourself unconditionally and finding beauty in parts of yourself that maybe others or the world, programming, whatever it is, has caused you to like internalize a lot of self-judgment, maybe even self-hatred, self-loathing, self-disgust, self-deprecation, like all of these negative self energies, anti-self energies, paradigms, practices, thought forms, patterns, all of this, and you've been already doing so much to uproot and transmute all of this, yet Spirit is kind of bringing, I think, a greater consciousness around this work, around this alchemy, to the forefront right now in this moment, both literally here together in this reading, let alone what's going on in the cycle and where you're at in your own cycle of your life and your journey. Because I do always intend that these reach people in alignment with divine timing. And I felt in the most loving and gentle way, like, enough. And it's not in a way to be patriarchal or patronizing. It's an enough that comes with like this comforting hand of peace upon the back that's letting you know, like, an invitation, an affirmation. Truly just surrender to the peace, at peace with yourself. Relinquish any and all unnecessary struggle and squirming and fighting against. Let things be simpler. Let things be easier. Let things be gentler. Allow your commitment and your follow-up and follow-through to hold space for greater gentleness and tenderness. Because even earlier today, I was getting like a channeled message, vibe, download, transmission about letting go more and more of these concepts of tough love and wanting to toughen love and make love tough in ways that are punitive, really, and judgy and judgmental. And it's not to say that love cannot incorporate strength and power. Yes, absolutely, those things. It's more so about, thank you, Spirit, can we allow for greater accountability in alignment with love that doesn't require us to operate under a narrative and paradigm of toughening up love in ways that are really intentional deprivations of love or perverted expressions of love? Can we be more courageous and tender to operate with greater empathetic and compassionate honesty and accountability? Can we apply this to accountability? Can we hold space for the full passion of our feelings and emotions without having to destroy ourselves or destroy another when we're facing, confronting, looking at, a confrontation, contrast? It's like, do we have to let the presence and the recognition of contrast turn our hearts off more, and delude us into reacting from a place of greater harshness, impatience, brusqueness, harshness, while trying to hide under some excuse or some veil of tough love. It's like, can we do more of the emotional labor, the mature labor, to maintain as much compassion, grace, forgiveness, and mercy as possible, and pursue accountability? And it starts with the self first and foremost, let alone then what do we practice and gift others with. Whew. That was pure channeling right there. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Okay, so this is some real next level soul maturation, soul embodiment, peace embodiment. Wow. If this is resonating with you and finding you, and you're still with this, you're also unlocking new layers and levels of confidence and unbotheredness. You may not feel it right now in the height of this transition within this liminal space. Yet as you step further into the showing up and showing out in this season, shining and sharing, beaming and radiating your light, you're going to realize a lot less things phase you. And even if something phases you for a second, it doesn't dwell or reside around you in a heavy, negative, or colonizing way. You're able to recognize things, name them for what they are, discern them for what they are, give no quarter and no space for BS, while also being able to release things with compassion and grace, and really rebuke and reject energies and traps of like vengeance and spite and vengeful energies and thought forms and dramatic colonizations of your energy and your attention. Really able to let things letting more things go. Yet it's letting things go with active and conscious discernment and recognition of these things. It's not letting go by minimizing things or maybe sweeping it a little bit under the rug or downplaying stuff just so that you can function or move forward and not completely, break down or fall apart. And sometimes we are in those seasons where survival mechanisms and coping strategies are real and required. So this is non-judgment for any and all of that. However, we're outside of a survival context and mode. And there's been so much wisdom gained along the way, so much knowledge and intelligence and experience, that less and less stuff is really phasing. Like more and more things that were big problems, big challenges, just heavy, dense burdens, for lack of a better word, at this moment. They're all that's being downgraded. Like you're being upgraded, and the bigger, like if this was a video game, the quote unquote enemies or opponents that were such a big deal at that level, like they're being downgraded. Like for any of my RPG, like role-playing game or MMO RPG people, from whether you play it still or from back in the day when we were teenagers, fellow millennials. I still play games to this day. When you get into the RPG, it's like the animals in the beginning, the creatures, the opponents in the beginning. At first, they're such a big challenge. But let's say 20 levels later, if you pass through that beginner area, it's like the enemies can be so weak where, in some games, they won't even auto attack you anymore because they know you would just like snap your fingers and take them out. And even if you do engage with them, it's like the experience points you would get would be little to none at this point. Like it's not even contributing that much. It's like this much, if any, to your advancement anymore. And it's not trying to be rude. It's not disrespecting their role or their station. Okay, we're going to get into part 3. We're going to get this tarot as I was shuffling. Part 3, collective, welcome back. Okay, so we're getting the tarot. In that last second part, we were getting a deep channeled message that came from the first 3 cards from the Magic of Marvel. So now I'm going to use this DC tarot to kind of bring more of this wisdom and activation down to earth that's essentially coming through about how we, if you're resonating with this message, this collective and this now, there's been a big leveling up, an upgrade to where you're at, and thus a downgrade to things that used to bother you or cause you more harm or distraction or anything really negative at this point. And now Spirit is inviting you to not hyper focus on those things, but when they do pop up, when they do present themselves to you, if and when they do in the future, looking upon them with greater compassion and grace. And that doesn't mean not holding people or things accountable. That does not mean abandoning boundaries. It's simply not allowing these things to turn you into a harsh and colder being, a more spiteful, vengeful, or unnecessarily wrathful or angry being, essentially getting you caught up or trying to get you into certain energetic spirals that will hold you back and or slow you down. So let's get this tarot. What's the tarot message right now, Spirit? We had the 2 of Wands pop out a moment ago, so there's elements of choice and decision here. Thank you, Spirit. The Sun, yes. So much bright yellow energy, so much solar plexus energy, so much yellow electricity, yellow lightning. So getting concepts of joy, illumination, and wisdom, and strength. Wow. I live. Okay, bottom of the deck, we have the Hierophant, and around the corner, we have the 3 of Pentacles. Okay, so working backwards, if you have been tuning in with me throughout the channel from the very beginning, this 3 of Pentacles for me, this is the affirmation confirmation of linking up with soul allies, soul tribes, like aligned, like these aligned communications, these aligned co-creations coming into form. Aligned collaborations and cooperations, partnerships, particularly like with the Pentacles is usually on a physical, environmental, bodily, and or financial level. So you're going to have to take this as a general reading. If you want more specific, book a personal, you send the DM. I don't DM people first. You reach out to me. I am Dil Divine for the Neighborhood Queer Muse Oracle and Soul Guide. 3 of Pentacles. However, this collaboration comes after, okay, thank you, here's the narrative, here's the story. It came after, I already told you with the 2 of Wands, this is about the choice, making the choice, making the decision, the direction you want to go. With the Sun, this is often a card about success, okay? This is about success, progress. Like, this can be about, like, things that we've wanted really coming into fruition, like divine creations being birthed, giving birth to whether it's an actual child or some kind of like loving project, something, or even a birth of our own self, a rebirth of our own self. And with the sunflowers as well, really giving these successful vibes, successful affirmations and confirmations. With the Strength card coming next in the 3 card spread, part of it. Here we see both Cyborg lifting up that big rock with one hand. Meanwhile, there's Beast Boy in lion form on the other side, representing really, I was going to say representing like friendship and alliance right there. So definitely, as well as diversification really of talents. That's significant. I needed to say that for some. I feel like the Sun being flanked by the 2 of Wands and the Strength card, even the fact that I use that language of flanked. Video gamers may be really significant here. The Sun, the success, the victory, it's in between the choice and the embodiment of strength, the embodiment and application of power, the embodiment and application of your strength, your talents, and resources. For some, this embodiment of self, like choosing yourself, this is you embracing being a mainstream character, a mainstream hero, superpowered being, and acknowledging that you don't have to do so by yourself in every moment, or at least you don't have to walk the journey alone. And sometimes and notice like you being in your best, in your prime, in your strength, applying it, you can really help make a difference for others as well. Like essentially Cyborg lifting up that rock is helping them both proceed on the path, presumably, and creating a space where maybe Beast Boy can now jump down and further scout ahead with his abilities, his powers, and the Three of Pentacles being the around the corner card, around the bend of what's coming next, about all that collaboration. To me, it's all like affirming the story. It's like you choosing to go all in on you, embracing your light, choosing your joy, embodying your powers, shining and sharing your gifts and abilities, shining and sharing your gifts and abilities. You are creating space for aligned connections, bonds, collaborations, and partnerships. You being main character, full force energy with love and a joyful place. I'm not saying this needs to come from overcompensating or insecurity. No, it comes from intentional and alignment of your will with your own divine will, your highest self, highest soul's will. You get these benefits, like you get these connections, like you're leveling up, you're moving forward. Like this rebirth is not about being in a chapter of being super alone. This is about being a mainstream, like A-lister who is on team and in collaboration with other A-listers, and y'all respect and acknowledge each other and come correct from that. It's not to say that we can't have wobbles as persons, with insecurities or whatever, but more often than not, we're standing in confidence now. Like we're operating from confidence, we're operating from security, we're operating from stability. We're not staying in shaky, wobbly, feeling weak energy. Like we are choosing more consistently to operate under the presumption, the assumption, and the fact that we are strong. We are powerful, period. Like the Justice League wouldn't really be possible or functional if every single one of those heroes was going through an identity and confidence crisis. Especially in the moments where it counted. It's like they have to believe and they have to go for it. Even if it doesn't work in the moment, they're still going for it and giving it their best and giving it their all and relying and trusting each other. So that's significant. With the Hierophant being the bottom of the deck, often, and this is Dr. Fate on here, and I love how he's swirling through, bringing that light a lot. So gold and yellow are going to be significant colors, and orange as well, but especially gold and yellow. Spectrum, sunlight colors. Really glowing through the dark. And I always think about how he's an agent of order, a counter to agents of chaos, a balancing force against that. He's bringing order and alignment and light to the dark. And his faith, his commitment to his virtues, to his values, to his calling, to his service, to his purpose, his sole purpose and guidance and alignment, guided by his own code of ethics. He's committed to the journey. He's committed to, like the darkness, the chaos does not hold him back. Certainly not for long. He brings harmony, he brings illumination, he brings order to it. He balances to it. It is because what he believes, like ultimately faith in himself, faith in his abilities, faith in collaboration with others when called for as well. Like ultimately the darkness can be integrated and responded to in a beneficial way. Some way, shape, or form at some point. So there's this element of perseverance and relentlessness I'm getting here. Not from exhaustion or doing too much. Once again, from commitment and faith. So yay, this is like big level up confirmation. So let's get like a final card from this Magic the Gathering Oracle. Help us seal this in. Please and thank you, Holy Spirit, Team, Tribes, and Guides. I really hope this reading helps you feel a lot more proud and also allow it to wash over you with greater senses of relief and release. Like things really are, a lot more ease is coming in to your life from this reading, from this activation forward. Yes, you will still have opportunities and moments to utilize your strength and your power, yet you're doing so with a greater, like, you know, it's what's required of you. It needs to be done. All right, come back. All right, part 4, final part of this reading here in this now. We just wrapped up the DC Tarot spread. So now we're getting there we go, Magic the Gathering Oracle. To help seal this reading in, we have the Unknown with Krufix. And look at this energy. The Unknown. And I'm getting, like, I was talking about chaos in the last reading as well, and chaos can really literally contains the unknown, is a manifestation of unknown energy in a lot of ways. That's one interpretation. And notice, you know what? Let me focus, but like, look at that cosmic nature of what's in the unknown. I love how the being is like wielding with their different hands, like various forms of sacred geometry. In the background is like these temples. It's really giving these temples, these places of faith. I feel as though this is an affirmation and confirmation of the spiritual upgrade, activation, ascension, evolution, expansion, whichever words that resonate with the growth for you, or all of those, like take what resonates, leave what doesn't. The pillars of your faith are taking you higher. And as you are going through this period of transition, transformation, and change, allow your pillars of faith paired with your acquired knowledge and wisdoms as represented by the sacred geometry, and allow that to steer you through the unknown, to stay the course, to still follow your North Star, to still follow your soul, to still follow your intuition, so that when you're navigating moments of extreme darkness, or maybe it's more lit up, like, you know, with the blues and purples in this more cosmic way, like there can be variation, there often is variation on the journey. Ultimately, the faith exists not to be these pillars that become a prison or to keep you shackled. They're places of respite, learning, grounding, foundation, and stability, so that as you receive the next part of your calling, the next part of your soul assignment, you can go from, because there's also more than one and it gets higher and higher. So it's like you can go from one base station to another, in addition to being able to return to it as well. But there's something about, especially with these sacred geometry shapes and these various hands, it's continue to alchemize, continue to transmute, navigate, like, I'm getting Merkaba, like coming through a lot. So the Merkaba, like the spiritual vehicle, our vessel type. That's probably like a very oversimplified version, but you could look up Merkaba for more information. Essentially, it's a spiritual vehicle that we can utilize to navigate various planes and dimensions and parts of consciousness and the universe. For those who are particularly adept at that, and you can really activate and do a lot through meditation as well as various other practices. I'm not an expert in it, yet I feel guided to share this, so I am. And also they're having me showcase like the unknown, this figure, like notice how this figure has a body, an embodiment. Now that is a very much our own, shaped by our own human interpretation. Yeah, I like how it is shown as an entity, as a being. It has a role to play in the universe. So trust, like I feel as though this is higher wisdom, higher spirituality, and I'm not saying that to put anyone down. No, I'm feeling invited to share this in the sense that it's like a reminder that any chaos and darkness that we are being presented with, it's because it plays a role in our journey and our story, and we play a role in their journey and their story. However big, however small, the role is there. And we're being shown and reminded of the alchemy that is still possible, both in and out of the chaos, in and out of the entity and the energy, and navigating through it. And faith exists before and after and beyond it, let alone what we carry with us and within as we go through it and connect those points and pillars of faith from one to another, bringing order and illumination through the chaos as we go from one layer level, one place, one temple to another. Okay? So this is some high level, this is some high level stuff. I'll say it that way. And this is not to pressure or intimidate or scare anyone or trigger somebody and feeling like now you got to go and do the most and start engaging in overcompensatory stuff. Like, no. This whole reading has been about you showing up and shining your light as your soul and your intuition is guiding you to continue showing up for healthier and winning habits and practices that you know help you move forward in your life with your health, with your wellness, with what your soul is calling you to do, what feels in alignment with your purpose, and the health and the wellness that not only gets, yet sustains you there and ultimately brings in more thriving into your life, honestly. What allows you to truly feel super, not just sufficient, super. So yeah, I feel like experiencing, okay, this is a good point to kind of seal this in. So once again, I'm Dil Divine, your friendly neighborhood queer muse, oracle, and soul guide. Pardon me, I'm thinking ahead. And Spirit just keeps calling me to this Three of Pentacles card again. It's keep your heart open. You don't need to go overly searching for stuff. Keep your heart open and keep allowing your pulse to be felt in the world and in the universe so that your soul tribe and your soul family can find you and y'all can group up for some special like group missions, group assignments, group tasks that will require the combination of your gifts, abilities, strengths, talents, and perspectives. And it will also still provide you all with experience. And it will also provide you all with platforms and experiences to share all that as the distinct and authentic you. And there's going to be a lot of greater healing and self-love and self-embodiment that comes from being you in a space that is supportive, being you while being witnessed by others being themselves, who ultimately want everybody to be their full, most powerful, authentic self because they understand that by being their best, most super-powered, most aligned and calibrated version of self, they all win. They all advance the mission. Truly stronger together. And it's a stronger together that's not requiring being the exact same or a copycat of each other. It's a stronger together because they know what we're all bringing to the table, what we're all bringing to the pot is going to give like the best recipe, the best mix, the best response, the best solution. And if there's some people that you were grouped up with that you're being guided to kind of grow away from, then maybe the recipe isn't working out anymore, then also allow for those edits, allow for those chops, allow for those changes. All right, yeah, I feel complete. Thank you so much, Spirit. All right, thank you all so much for tuning in. Be sure to like, share, follow, comment, all that good stuff. Do your big one, as Mistress says. And I look forward to being back soon with another timeless reading. All right, sending you all lots of love and care. And let me walk up to the screen. Bye.